Piker has almost 3 million Twitch followers, and as with most guys who talk into microphones on the internet, his audience skews young, male, and disaffected. At the peak...
What the fuck? I love leftist AI. This is not AI. This is not written by, this is not read by AI. This is read by a real human being. I hate Zoomers so much who think everything that like sounds kind of robotic due to filters or whatever must be AI. Please stop. Okay. Also, this is the New Yorker magazine. It's not leftist. Okay. The fuck?
His election night stream in November, he had more than 300,000 viewers. He broadcasts 7 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day, usually from his house in West Hollywood.
Yeah. I just want to point out something here because like Andrew does a pretty good job of describing the right-wing dominated media landscape and also the build-up to the election night, and remind people that Ethan Klein, Destiny, Dan Saltman, and all these other like supposed Democratic congressperson, Richie Torres, who could forget, the ADL, all of their efforts were basically to try and deplatform me before the election. And they were very open about it, some of them at least, not Richie Torres, he doesn't know anything. But they were very open about like wanting to punish me for being on Twitch and not being banned as Sex Pestiny was, right? And it's crazy that like otherwise liberal spaces were actively trying to make it so that the fucking largest progressive, liberal adjacent, leftist content creator in a fucking sea of neo-Nazi to fucking fascist to right-wing charlatans, like that's the only place that they focus their efforts on deplatforming on. It is crazy. It's crazy that that's what they focused on. And it yielded zero results. It yielded zero fucking results. And in spite of the deplatforming, the only thing that happened was basically Twitch took me off the fucking algorithm. That meant a lot of people directly clicked on my page, 314,000. Think about how crazy that shit is. Reaching really hard to grab that emotional grandstanding, huh, lol? Emotional grandstanding is just an accurate assessment of events. Explain to me a single thing that I said that was untrue, and we can have a conversation about it. Okay, lol, Cope Harder, lol, I want to streams all the time. Honestly, can say I never had motion deplatform, brother. Brother, just being completely honest. Explain to me a single thing that I mentioned that is wrong. Did that not happen? Richie Torres is a Democratic congressperson from the poorest district in the country. He is AIPAC's strongest, most loyal soldier, okay, in Congress. Richie Torres was up for re-election. And in the week leading up to his own fucking re-election, his own party's re-election against Donald Trump, he spent more time tweeting about me to try to get me fucking deplatformed. He wrote a letter with a congressional letterhead to Amazon to try and get me fucking deplatformed. Every single part of that is correct. None of this is an emotional grandstanding moment. It's just making you feel a certain type of way, I think, because you just don't like hearing, how events unfolded. It's crazy. Let's continue.
And he doesn't use visual pyrotechnics to hold his viewers' attention. Most of the time, what you see on his stream is an overlay of 3 things: a fixed shot of Piker sitting at his desk, a screen share of whatever he's looking at on his computer, and his chat, where fans supply pertinent links, caps lock shit talk, and puppy emojis, all surging in real time up the right side of the screen.
That's you.
Although Piker hates Trump, he's hardly a loyal Democrat. At bottom, he's an old-school hard leftist, not a liberal. On his bedside table, he has some protein Pop-Tart knockoffs and a copy of the Communist Manifesto. Many of his opinions, for example, that the American empire has been a destructive...
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know he had actually seen my bedroom. I don't remember showing him my bedroom. That's some crazy work right there.
...force on the whole would surely be off-putting to the median voter. But he is just one of many independent media creators with an anti-Trump message. In recent weeks, the political podcast charts have included The Bulwark, This is Gavin Newsom, and even a show called Raging Moderates. For a couple of weeks last month, a liberal show called The Midas Touch podcast beat out The Joe Rogan Experience for the #1 spot. Corporate media too often has a both sides perspective, Ben Meiselas, one of the Midas Touch co-hosts, told me. We do not mince words about the threat to workers, the threat to democracy. One piece of fan art on Piker's wall is a cartoon of him operating a daycare center, shielding a room full of lost boys from the malign chaos of the open internet. You gravitate to him because he's just a voice you find relatable, Piker's producer, who goes by March, told me. A lot of people don't even put a political label on it, at least at first. Piker gets up early every morning to work out, posting his daily stats so that his fans, his community, can follow along from home. He gives dating advice and motivational speeches. At a moment when there seems to be an ever-shortening algorithmic pipeline from bench-pressing tips to misogynist rage, Piker tries to model a more capacious form of masculinity. A straight guy, 6'4" and movie star handsome, who's as comfortable wearing camo to a gun range as he is walking a red carpet in split-toe Margiela boots. Once viewers have come to trust him, they may be more open to his riffs on the rights of the poor or of trans people, delivered not as a primer on Judith Butler, but in the register of, bro, don't be a dick. I pulled up a chair just out of frame. Kaya ambled toward me, vetting my scent. Piker talked, almost without interruption, for 4 more hours, holding forth about recent internet drama, a documentary about the history of NATO, and the United Healthcare CEO's assassin, who had not yet been identified. Within reach of his rolling desk chair was a mini fridge full of cold brew and Diet Mountain Dew. Some of his too unpolished for prime time. Bro, these guys are so cucked, he said, critiquing a clip from a rival podcast on the right. Then again, a live stream isn't supposed to be a tight, scripted lecture. It's supposed to be a good hang. I gotta end the broadcast here, he said, shortly after 8 p.m. I'll see you tomorrow. After turning the camera off, he seemed to deflate a bit. Comments were still floating up one of his monitors. The thousands of fans in the chat had dwindled to a few hundred. The inner circle who were devoted enough, or lonely enough, to keep one another company after the feed had gone dark. The Democrats are smug and condescending, and everything they say sounds...
Just absolutely daggered offline chat. Called you guys fucking losers, dude. Offliners mentioned...
fake as shit, Piker said. Trump lies constantly, yes, but at least people get the sense they voted enough, or...
This part is, I think, this is bars, okay? This is my greatest work.
Or lonely enough to keep one another company after the feed had gone dark. The Democrats are smug and condescending, and everything they say sounds fake as shit, Piker said. Trump lies constantly, yes, but at least people get the sense that he's authentically saying what he's thinking. He put his feet up and reached for a fresh Zyn pouch. Young men, like a lot of Americans, feel increasingly alienated, he continued. They can't afford college or rent. They can't get a date. They can't imagine a stable future. The right is always there to tell them, yes, you should be angry. And the reason your life sucks is because of immigrants, or because a trans kid played a sport. And all the Democrats are telling them is, no, shut up, your life is fine, be joyful. No one has ever accused Piker of being a moderate, but in this case, he is trying to force